It all started the week I moved into the Cedar Grove Estates, a community that looked peaceful on the surface. Manicured lawns, freshly painted mailboxes, kids riding their bikes without a care in the world. I thought I'd found my dream home. What I didn't know was that I had just stepped into the kingdom of Karen, the HOA president, self-proclaimed enforcer of community standards, and apparently the unofficial ruler of everyone's life here. I met her on my second day. I was trimming my hedges when a shadow fell over me. I looked up to see a woman in a fitted navy suit, clipboard in hand, lips pursed so tight I thought she might choke on her own disapproval. "Mr. Hale," she said, in a tone that suggested my very name offended her. Yes," I replied cautiously. "I'm Karen Matthews, president of the Homeowners Association. I noticed your front garden has non-approved flora." I blinked. "Non-approved?" "Yes, those azaleas. Page 14, section B. Only white or pink azaleas are permitted. Yours are purple." I laughed, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. By the second week, I'd received my first notice of violation for having my trash cans visible for 3 minutes after pickup. Then came fines for leaving my porch light on past 10 p.m., for faded paint on my garage door, brand new, mind you, and for parking my truck in my own driveway instead of the garage. When I called her out, she escalated. She started showing up with her so-called HOA police, a couple of rent-a-cops in reflective vests that said HOA Enforcement Unit in big letters. They'd march up my driveway, clipboard ready, snapping pictures of my property like they were investigating a crime scene. The real trouble began when she learned I was running my business, a small landscaping service, from home. Totally legal, completely within state zoning laws. But to her, commercial activity was forbidden, unless she decided otherwise. One evening, I was working on my laptop in the backyard when they showed up again. Karen, 2 HOA officers, and a stack of fine papers so thick she had to carry them under her arm. She slammed them down on my patio table like she was serving a warrant. "This is your final notice. Pay the accumulated fines or the HOA will initiate foreclosure proceedings." I stared at her, then at the papers. The fines added up to over $18,000, all for violations she had invented. That's when I decided enough was enough. I started documenting everything. I installed my own cameras, high definition, audio capable, time-stamped. Every visit from her or her HOA police went on record. Every conversation was transcribed. I filed public records requests with the county, digging into the HOA's financials. What I found made my blood boil. Thousands of dollars in miscellaneous expenses billed to the HOA card, spa treatments, restaurant tabs, even a weekend at a luxury resort. I contacted 3 other homeowners who had been targeted. They were scared, but fed up. Together, we formed a little coalition. Then, I went one step further. I called in a favor from a friend who worked at a local news station. We set up an expose. The turning point came at the next HOA meeting. The community center was packed. Over 50 residents, the full HOA board, Karen in her power suit. She smirked at me like I was already beaten. When public comment opened, I stood up, laptop in hand, and connected it to the projector. The first slide, a video of Karen trespassing on my property, waving fines in my face, caught calling me a low-class landscaper to her officers. Gasps, murmurs. Slide 2, screenshots of her miscellaneous expenses with receipts. Dinner for 4 at a 5-star steakhouse, $428, billed to the HOA card. Slide 3. Footage from another homeowner's camera. Karen ordering HOA police to issue fines for a non-compliant paint color that was in fact HOA approved. The room erupted. People shouted. Karen tried to interrupt, but I spoke over her, my voice steady. Ladies and gentlemen, the bylaws give you the power to vote for removal, and tonight you have that chance. The vote was unanimous. Karen was out. But I wasn't done. I took my evidence to the county DA's office. 2 months later, she was indicted for embezzlement and misuse of funds. The HOA dissolved under court order. The HOA police uniforms were seized. The fake enforcement unit shut down. When it was all over, I stood on my porch, coffee in hand, watching the new "Welcome to Cedar Grove HOA Free Community" banner go up at the entrance. Karen? Last I heard, she was selling timeshares in Florida.
I am Liam, and trust me, the next HOA story is even worse. Subscribe now.